Welcome one and all, Nyanko here, and today I am going to be talking about a much beloved manga that most of us probably read at some point during the 2000s called Nana! So if you don't know what Nana is a manga about two girls who share the same name, Nana, hence the title. And they both meet on the train to Tokyo when they're 20. One Nana, who kind of, the main view is through her eyes, also becomes known as Hachi because she's very innocent, naive and loyal. She's going to Tokyo to be with her boyfriend, Shinji. And the other Nana, who is who is the other title character, is going to Tokyo to try and make it big as a musician and a singer. So they meet on the train to Tokyo, which is stopped through bad weather, and they chat and they become kind of friendly, and then when they get off the train they go their separate ways and they don't think they'll ever meet again. But then a few days later, Nana, or Hachi, goes shopping for apartments because she doesn't want to live with her boyfriend right now in case he starts to hate her, plus he can't support her at the moment because he's a poor college student. So she finds this really nice apartment that's up on the 7th floor of this building. The rent's really cheap. It's like 70,000 yen a month, so that's like $700. And as she walks in, there is the other Nana, and they end up becoming roommates and best friends, and then like their lives start revolving around each other basically. It's a really good manga. It's very grounded in reality. Hachi is desperate to be loved but doesn't really know how to love in return, but is kind of head over heels in love with Nana, but in a platonic way. And she does say several times through the manga and even in the anime, like, if you were a dude, Nana, I'd have fallen for you head over heels kind of thing. But unfortunately she's not that way orientated. The other Nana becomes really good friends with Hachi, and they, like, as her music career starts to take off, the other Nana, or Hachi, I'll just start calling them Nana and Hachi, is supporting her, but also having her own life troubles and stuff. And it's really interesting watch these two characters, like, wish for things, but then not always get what they want. So, like, the author is very kind of like, yes, this one wants, the white picket fence, the loving husband and the children. And then this one wants to have a successful career in music and, make it on her own kind of thing. It's very interesting the motifs they use as well, because like Hachi is very much the dog, but like Nana is very much like a cat, so she's very aloof, very astray, very like I'm non-committal kind of thing. And then the other Nana is like, love me, praise me, I did good, right? It's really cool to see. I love the show. I think as well because it was the first like manga as well that I read where it wasn't about teenagers. There is teenagers in it, but you've got the two characters are 20. They're starting life as adults, They mention sex in it, there's drugs mentioned, so be careful of that. It's not hinted in the anime, but in the manga it's definitely hinted. And shown actually that one of the characters is a drug addict. But like I said, it's very interesting how the author has it that like they have their set wishes and their goals, but they always seem to get warped in some way. So Hachi is desperate to like have a husband, have the nice things in life, have kids, the nice home, but then the boyfriend she moves to Japan from her hometown to Tokyo cheats on her, and then she finds out and she dumps him because she's like, no, I won't be cheated on. But then she falls in love with the bandmate of Nana's boyfriend Ren, who she actually helps get back together. And well, it's not even that she falls in love with him, she's a fangirl and she ends up sleeping with him. And she's afraid of being seen as like a slut for having a one-night stand. Now, the only character that actually justifies this is Shin. And I really like how he's like, yeah, women get horny too, what of it kind of thing. And he really is like, girls can just have flings as well. They, it doesn't demean them. It doesn't make them any less than what they are. You know, they're still a whole person. And I really like Shin for that. He's like MVP for like representation for ladies, because like it's very interesting. Hachi in her mind is calling herself a slut, and she's like, I had a one night stand with him, that makes me a slut. And I'm like, but it doesn't. But that's the thing about it. She in her head is then trying to justify sleeping with Takumi, and is like, I need to be in love with him to justify this one incident. So they ends up sleeping with him again, and then everyone's like, oh, you're in love with him, you can't help that you're in love with him, kind of thing. And she's like, she never actually says out loud that she's in love with Takumi to anybody, I don't think, if I can remember. Like, everyone says to her that she's in love with him and that you can't help who you fall in love with and stuff, but she never, I don't think, outright says it. Like, I am still rereading it again at the moment, because like I reread it every year and rewatch it every year, because I'm obsessed, and I'm so sad that it is still on hiatus, like several years later. But no, I actually quite liked that. So it was like showing, you know, adult relationships and like adult issues and stuff, and it also shows that just because you're an adult and just because you're like, oh wow, they're older than me, doesn't necessarily mean you always have your shit together, which I quite liked. The thing as well with the other Nana is it does show mental health illness quite well as well, in a sense, because Nana suffers from panic attacks and she's extremely possessive, and like she's constantly talking about keeping Hachi on a leash and keeping her penned in and keeping possession of her, because Nana was abandoned as a young child by her mother. Her mum left her with her grandmother and just left and never came back for her. So she has abandonment issues. She doesn't know who her dad is. She was raised by a very strict grandmother who was like, I will not let you turn out like your mother. And kind of instilled in her that, you know, she couldn't wear pink, she couldn't wear red, she couldn't wear girly things because that would be seducing men. So like she has a lot of issues, and then she never had any female friends growing up. Her only real friend in the beginning was Yasu, who's another part, no, actually not even Yasu. The first friend is Nobu, and then she becomes friends with Yasu and she starts dating Ren. So again, she's never had a female friend before, and then Hachi comes into her life and she becomes very possessive of Hachi because she's like, I can't bear to lose somebody else that I'm really close to. And again, it's really good at showing that. Now it also heavily hints that Nana might be bipolar in places, because she's very, when she's up, but then she can be very down and she can switch at the drop of a hat. Now it's never stated what she has, but there's a lot of fan theories that she's got some form of bipolar and anxiety disorder, which was nice to see representation of done well in media. Again, she's also very possessive of Ren, her boyfriend, who is later her fiance. Because if you haven't read the manga and all you've seen is the anime, a lot happens after where you get left off. Now, the way with the manga as well is it drops hints from the future as well. So you're kind of following the storyline along, and then suddenly it will jump into the future, and there'll be an older Hachi or an older Nobu or an older Yasu, you know, that kind of thing. And you start piecing together bits of the story through going backwards and forwards in the timeline, which again is really well done, and I haven't seen too many plot holes in it. Now if you haven't read it at this point, kind of sucks to be you, because I don't think it'll ever get animated, but like big things happen in the manga as well, and where it leaves off, oh my god, where it leaves off, I am so pissed off. I'm like, I know the author got sick, and I know she's recovering, and there is an art exhibition actually of her work in Japan at the moment, so I'm hoping she's recovered enough that she can continue the manga. But I really wish that like she'd have set it up so that like maybe she could have had assistants, or she could have had some assistants come in and she could have given the storyline to them and they could have continued on like making it while she was recovering. That would have been great, because it just leaves it in such I was so broken, and I was like, I need answers and stuff, and then yeah, just no, it just leaves it, and then we haven't had any closure. And I'm like, please, just even a tweet telling us how it ends. Please, just give us closure. So, like, okay, so spoilers. Where it ends off in the manga, or the last chapter before she went in on like long-term hiatus, is Nobu and Nana and Hachi are all kind of like having a party and singing karaoke and like eating, because Nana's finally feeling like she can sing again after the tragic loss of Ren, which is also heavily hinted throughout the series and in the manga leading up to it. You know, something happens that causes Nana to flee, and it leaves Hachi waiting for her. And like one of the few things that would break Nana would be the loss of Ren, who is in her mind her soulmate. He is the only one for her. And even after like 2 years of being broken up, they were still so in love that, you know, she pined after him basically. So yeah, she's still dealing with the grief of that. Nana, Hachi is like several months pregnant, like huge ass belly, about to pop any day. And they're all living at like this entertainment complex where like famous people live to like avoid the media, because there's been a scandal with Sheen, and like Blast is kind of like broken up at that point. Yasu is dating one of the talents, as is Nobu, because Nobu's trying to recover from the breakup with Hachi. It's interesting because they have like this really big talk, and Nana refuses to cheat. Well, Hachi refuses to cheat on Takumi, even though she knows that he's cheating on her, basically, and she knows what. She knew what she was getting herself signed up for when she married Takumi instead of staying with Nobu, because she was like, I will not endanger Blast's future. So she chose the option that wouldn't make her happy. Again, the author giving Hachi what she wanted, but not how she wanted it. She wanted the loving family. Now, Takumi is very loving at points, but he's more of a, you're my possession, I won't let you go. And it's quite an empty, hollow love, because he's also cheating on her. Whereas Nobu was a very innocent love. It was very, I love you, and she was like, I love you, and they wanted to love each other. But she knew that if she'd have stayed with Nobu and had the baby with Nobu, he would have left the band and it would have ruined Nana's dream. So that's why she went over to Takumi, married Takumi and stuff. But then she hasn't seen Takumi at this point in months. She's been living at the house with Nana, like in this condo block. And her and Nobu have this really sweet moment where like he tries to kiss her and stuff, and they have like this argument, and they finally air their grievances with each other, and then like they hug and stuff, and she's like, if you'd have asked me, I'd have done it. Like I'd have gone and gotten rid of the baby. I wouldn't have had the baby, but I did what I thought was best to keep the band together. And it's really interesting because he's also dating this other talent who's like an adult video star, and she's extremely jealous, and she absolutely hates Hachi with a passion. And so where the last manga chapter leaves off is they come in, they're all partying, they're all having a good time. In comes the adult video star actress. I can't remember her name. I don't like her, so I don't want to commit it to memory. And she's like, what is Takumi's wife still doing here, kind of thing. And it's like, oh, if she's better now and she's singing, Takumi's wife can leave. So Nobu kind of storms off, drags her out, and is like, we need to talk. And I was like, oh, are they going to break up? Ooh, are they? But then it leaves it with Nana looking absolutely broken because, you know, her little bit of happiness that she'd just got back just got shattered by this woman. And that's where it leaves it. We haven't had a new chapter since, and I'm like, please more. So there's, you're just left, like, you know bits from the future. You know everything that got them into that point. We don't know why Nana runs away. We don't know if Nana is ever going to come back. We don't know who the father of Hachi's baby is, or Hachi's babies, because at this point in the manga it's confirmed that she has 2 children. One called Ren, although at one point you think when they're talking about Ren, they're actually talking about Nana's Ren, because they talk about how Reira will only sing for Ren, and like the way it goes, it's quite interesting because you're led to believe that Ren is still alive for a while, and then you get to the point where Ren dies, and then you're like, damn, okay, so what Ren are they talking about then? And then it's introduced that Ren is Takumi's child, or is Nana's child, Hachi's child, grown up, and he does look a lot like Hachi. But there's also Nobu in there, so it's hinting that Nobu actually is the father of Hachi's baby, and Takumi knows this, but still decided to go along with it anyway, because in his sense he was beating Nobu then. Because he only ever goes back to Hachi, if you remember, after Nobu reacts badly to hearing that Hachi had slept with Takumi. And it's more of a power play over Nobu than an actual, I like you, I want to be with you. It's a, I can have her in your face kind of thing. And that's what it feels like as well when he decides to marry Hachi and say that he'll take the baby, with everything else leading up to that point saying that he never wanted kids, he saw kids as a burden. So that's quite interesting. Also, the period dates don't match up from the last day that Hachi slept with Takumi and when she slept with Nobu. So it is hinting that it's Nobu's child, not Takumi's. But Ren's birthday is never given in the manga, whereas Nana's second child, Satsuki, her daughter, her birthday is given, and it's June of 2002, which would add up with Hachi's due date in terms of when the baby was born. So Ren's birthday is never given, Satsuki's is, and you're left to wonder who the father of Satsuki is as well, because is it Takumi's baby? And it was a failed attempt for the pair of them to have a child together. But then that doesn't work with the timeline, because Hachi is pregnant in August, September of 2001. So the birthday being in June of 2002 makes sense. But then where does Ren come in? Are they twins? Or, as is hinted, was Nana pregnant, had her baby, and all the trauma from losing Ren and never wanting to be a mother caused her to run away? So there's a load of like speculation, and there's a load of bits and bobs that have been like left off, and I really need it to be finished. Please finish it, or just let us know how it finishes, because I need to know. It's driving me mad. Like, you can speculate, you can summarize, like there's a load of fan theories online that you can find out, but I mean at the end of the day you've just kind of got to read the manga, draw your own conclusions, and pray to the manga gods that the mangaka, bless her heart, recovers enough and finds the inspiration to finish Nana, because it's amazing and it's epic and we need more. Now, there is enough actually, I think, as well for a second season, but Madhouse, who did the anime when the author went on hiatus, also put the TV series on hiatus too, and said when she comes back with the manga, we'll bring the TV series back. Now, it's still popular enough that I think if she started writing again tomorrow, next season would have a new Nana production coming out. I'm pretty sure. So, I mean, we can hope, we can pray, we can beg. But no, highly recommend Nana. It's a wild ride. Hopefully I haven't spoiled too much, unless you've already read it or watched it, you know. Just let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. I'd love to chat to other Nana fans, because it's a frustrating fandom to be in these days, especially considering we want more, we love it so much, and we're just not getting anything. But it's great to still chat about it and keep the fandom alive, you know. Hopefully if enough fans, you know, pray, we can get it back. But yeah, other than that, tell me who your favourite character is down below in the comment section. If you like Nana, if you don't like Nana, let me know. Back with the Wednesday video. So just a little update actually while I'm here. The Wednesday videos are going to be a bit more sporadic. I will be keeping my Monday and Fridays set, but Wednesday is going to be a bit more hit and miss, just because if I'm still sometimes it takes a while to read like an entire series and make a video on it, and sometimes I just don't have the motivation to read a new book in a week because I've got other things going on in the background. But no, I will be keeping up with the bookworm series of videos. It's just they might be maybe once a month, twice a month. They might be all month. It just depends on my like reading schedule and what else I've got going on in the background. So I hope that's okay with you guys. But yeah, other than that, my kittens, I hope you have a lovely day. Take much care of yourself mentally and physically. Remember, drink, eat, take tablets if you have any prescribed tablets you need to take. And I will see you in the next one. Au revoir!